Hello guys, welcome to Solving Solutions, your number one channel where you get solutions to all your solving problems. So today we are going to review a particular application which you can use on site as a surveyor. You acquire data, you want to visualize how, let's say, the shape of the job you carried out, you want to see it on site, or perhaps you are also in the office and you're not close to your laptop, or even if you're close to your laptop and you just want to see the rough sketch of what you've done on site. Actually, it's even would I say it's advantageous because it's handy. You can have it on your pocket and then you go about with it. It's quite an interesting app. So now let's see what we can do. So today we are going to look at how you edit coordinates in both input methods. There are two methods with which you can input coordinates in this particular application. So we are going to look at how you can edit the inputted coordinates, and then we are also going to look at how you identify and work with the controls in both methods, in both input methods. We are also going to look at the error handler. Perhaps you are inputting your coordinates and then you made a mistake, so the application has a way of notifying you that there is an error in the input that you've made. And we're also going to look at the auto scaling. Yes, auto scaling, the scale, like the distance, how they appear and the rest of that. So without spending much time, let's just start. So we are going to press this coordinate easting, nothing. So that's where we are going to press. Now you see this interface. So this is where we start our work from. So now this is the coordinate. Now I've actually typed the coordinate and then I copied it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to paste what I copied. So now this is it. From these coordinates, you can see that on this particular box, or we are actually on this particular box, we are on the lone input format, and you can see that we have a C in a bracket. Would I say that's a bracket? Yeah, let's call it a bracket. So now that is actually an HTML node for identifying what the control details within this box. That C in that bracket shows that whatever you see on that line is what is a control. Whatever you see on that line is what is a control. So now you will have to pay attention to how it is typed. You open that bracket, you type the C, you close the bracket, and you leave a space. After leaving the space, you open another bracket, you say CTRL, you leave a space and you put 1, you close the bracket. Now after that, there is no space again, there is just a comma. Hope you understand. Good. So now you put in your easting, your northern. Your easting, your northern. So you do the same thing for the second for the second control, and then those are the two controls you are going to use. How do you identify that those are controls? You use that C in that bracket. That identifies that line or those two lines are control lines. Then the next one is for your station, like maybe 0.1, 0.2, or whatever the case is. So you still use STN1. After the STN, you leave a space, you put 1, there is no space, you put in your easting, your northern. So on the last part, you still repeat your first point. I believe that's a normal practice. Most times we do that. So you repeat your first station. Then you now close with with the control you repeat, or let's say you type in the control you close with. So you can easily do that by just copying it. If it's actually at top, you just copy it and you paste it. Are we together? Good. So this is actually one method, and this method is the lone input format. Your controls are indicated by that C in that bracket. It's like actually the HTML node to identify that this is a control line. So now if you look towards the bottom right of this screen, you will find out that we have show control input. So that's the second input format, and what do I call that? That's the 3 input format. So by the time we press this now, you find out that those controls have actually been they've actually been split into their separate boxes. We have the starting control coordinates, the station coordinates, and the closing control coordinates. Now what this means is that in this second format, you can actually split your controls. You can actually split your controls, unlike the first one that you just have one box, which is this. You just have one box where your controls and the station coordinates are there. But on this second box, the controls are on their separate boxes, and the station coordinates are also on their separate box, on their separate box. Yeah, because it's just one box. Are we together? So I believe you understand that C there was how the designer or maybe the programmer did it for it to be able to split to these two separate boxes for starting control coordinates and what the closing control coordinates. Are we together? So these are how you can do what? These are how you can edit your coordinates in both format. In this format, which is the 3 input format, and the first format, which is what? The lone input format. Hope it's clear. Now, in these two formats, we've also explained extensively, or in a way it's understandable rather, how you can identify and work with the controls. You identify the controls here by this C in this bracket, and on this second format, the controls have their separate boxes. Are we together? Now, the next thing we are talking about is the error handler. Now, this error washer is just like it's helping you to know that, okay, maybe if you typed in an error. Now, it will not detect if the coordinates are in numbers. Like, for instance, now, let's come to this line and we put an alphabet here. Immediately, you see that there is what? There is a notification because of that red line. So, you press this error. It will now tell you that non-numerical northern coordinate, check coordinate input line number 3, you exit. By the time you now check line number 3, you find out that there is an H here which is not supposed to be there. So by the time you remove it, the error has left. So if maybe instead of 5, you put in 8, it won't know. The only error it can be able to, or the only error it detects is the error of maybe you input a different string. Maybe you are supposed to put a number and you do what? You input an alphabet and then or a letter. Then the next thing is if you repeat a particular station coordinate twice. Let's now copy this one and then let's copy it and then we paste it on the next line. Let's see. You can find out that the error is the point is highlighted. So let's see what the error message is. We come here, they say station successive eastern and northern coordinates should not be the same. Check coordinate input what? Line number 5. So that's how you are going to use how we are going to use this error washer. So the best thing, you know what we did, we copied and pasted. So we just remove and we find out that the error message is gone. Are we together? So that's how you are going to use the error washer. You can decide to turn it off, you can decide to turn it on. It's all left for how you want to use it, but it's preferable you just you leave it on, because that will be better for you to know maybe if you have made a mistake, you repeated a particular station twice or whatever the case is. And now the next thing is this scaling. By default, app is scaled automatically. For better viewing experience and to avoid crashing due to large. So now what this means is that scaling, the ratio of what you have on ground to what you have on paper or as the case may be. So now when you are plotting, if you acquire the data on a very small area, you are supposed to know the type of scale you would use so that it will be legible. And if you acquire data of a very large area, you know the scale you would use so that it will still be legible, and then the paper size and all the rest of that. So the application by default has a scale whereby it compares your coordinates to know which scale is better for you to use. So it's also advisable that you leave it on the default scale as it was given, or maybe as it is set on the application. So but if you still want to modify it, you can actually modify it. So now these are the controls. By the time you press plot, you would see that the points have actually been plotted. You can actually see the boundary coordinates in red and the controls in blue. So basically these are some of the things you can do with this particular application. So today we have been able to tell you how to edit coordinates in both methods, identifying the controls in both methods, how to use your error handler, and then the scaling. It's better we leave it there, but we can still adjust it. So subsequently we'll still talk about some other features on this application, because it's quite an interesting application that provides solutions solution to solving problems anytime, any day. So thanks for coming to class, or thanks for watching this video. If you are just coming around for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming. Make sure that you share this video with your colleagues in the profession, because they will definitely need it, and with this explanation I believe they will have more value for it, because that's the essence of explaining. So for you to download this video, the link to the download is actually on the description section, where you can do what, where you can download. So the link to downloading this application rather is actually on the description section, where you can download the link from the application from Play Store. So yeah, thanks for coming to class. Make sure you have a nice time until I see you again on the next video. Bye.